What's going on, guys? Grady here with Grady's Gear, and today I got something really exciting to share with you guys. I have got something I am super freaking stoked about. This is a first for me, a first for um, in my knife collecting, in my knife collecting journey. It is something I am just really stoked to share with you guys. I recently broke my $500 rule that I have. Any of you guys who have watched my videos know that I have a kind of a sweet spot when it comes to knives, a top out, and it's between that $300 and $500 mark where, that's just my kind of top out. I've never really spent over $500 on a knife before. I've spent over $400 on a knife before, but I've never spent over five. And I've mentioned before that if I were to do that purchase, I really gotta like it. I really have to fall in love with the knife in order for me to make a purchase like that. And I have. This is one of those knives that if I had not experienced it, I probably wouldn't have bought it. And once I experienced it, I knew I had to have one for myself. And I wanted a specific configuration for myself. And I was able to get in on a drop that happened recently, and I was able to pick one up. So, and it came in yesterday. Spoiler alert, I've already opened it. I've had it in pocket. I've carried it. I was too excited to do an unboxing video. I had family over and stuff like that. Didn't have time to do that. So, yeah, I was just too excited, guys. I wanted to crack it open and get to play with it for a little bit and stuff like that. But we're going to do kind of a re-unboxing, so to speak. So what did I wind up going with that was over $500? Well, I bought my very first Koenig knife. This was just something that I didn't expect to like so much. And when Kyle, DTOM Knives and Gear, sent me his with the flipper delete, I was pleasantly surprised by how much I liked it. The way that it carried in pocket, the fit, the finish. To a lot of people, they will say this is the pinnacle of knife perfection in the production world. Not getting into customs, but in the production world, a lot of people will say this is just the pinnacle of what a knife should be. This is also Jake Bearded Gear's favorite knife in his collection, and he absolutely loves his. So I'm really stoked that I was able to check out Kyle's, and it really sparked an interest after I sent it back for me to try to hunt one down on the secondary. But I was patient, guys, and I think that's a big thing. Be patient. I was patient, and a group that I'm a part of, there's a website, and they were doing a drop of these, and I was able to go on and purchase one and get my order through. So I was extremely excited about it. So without any further ado, let's unbox this thing and check it out. So on the box, these are made in USA, and I agree with Kyle and Jake. When you think about USA made high-end production, you think of the big three: Chris Reeve, Hinder, Strider knives, and stuff like that. But Kyle and Jake have both said that Koenig is in its league of its own. It is definitely in its own league, and I wholeheartedly agree with them. This knife is fantastic. So let's open it. Okay, so this is what I got. This is going to be a keeper, guys. I'm going to keep it and enjoy it. Not only because I love the knife, but also the birth card on here, September 3rd. That is my son's birthday, which I didn't ask for a specific date or anything. I don't think they can, but it was just a pleasant surprise when I seen that September 3rd on there. That's my son's birthday. So I got an Arius. It's an M390 in titanium. You get the Koenig sticker, and then you get the Arius in here wrapped in a microfiber cloth. Let's pull this out. And this is the version that I went with. This particular version cost me $695, guys. I know a lot of guys, when they get these, it has the silver hardware. I think Jake's did, and he added the aftermarket blue hardware to his. This came with the all blue hardware. Look at that pivot. This thing almost looks jeweled, and it just looks so beautiful, guys. I love the contrast between the gray titanium and the blue accents on here. I love gray and blue together. I know a lot of people like black and blue. I like gray and blue together. I also wanted the flipper. I did not want the flipper delete. I got the satin flats, that stonewash bevel on here. I mean, look at that. That stonewash grind on here. So the part that I'm using is all stonewash, and then up here has got the satin flats. This is a big knife, guys. And you guys know me. I'm not really into a big knife. This is a full-size knife. But this thing carries so well. I love it. It carried so well for me when I had Kyle's that I was pleasantly surprised. And look at this action. Look at that. That is just fan-freaking-tastic. That beautiful blue backspacer. This is not a deep carry. You got about that much sticking out of your pocket, but it doesn't bother me at all. This thing is not like overly thick in your pocket, and I just can't get over the way that it carries. The flipper tab is not obtrusive at all. It's not a pocket pecker, so it doesn't get in the way. And this action, I mean, the detent on this thing is stellar. Now, I will say when I first opened this, there was a learning curve because I believe that this is a little bit lock bar sensitive. So I have to rest my index finger across the pivot right here when I go to middle finger flick. And then I can get it right out. That was a little bit of a learning curve, but now I've got it to where I can middle finger flick it just fine. And that detent, I want to show you guys this. Check this out. So I'm going to hold down here at the pocket clip. Listen to this. You hear that? That is a crisp detent, guys. Boom. Fires right out. I think this knife for me, granted, I've had it for 24 hours. So I am in the honeymoon phase. But I think this for me is definitely going to be a keeper. I also think this is going to be my new favorite in my collection. This is just, oh God, I love that. Look at that. Like a guillotine, but it's almost like a controlled drop. I mean, it's not so fast where I'm going to hit my thumb, and that's part of the reason why I love the flipper tab, because the flipper tab hits my thumb, and then boom. I mean, when you guys talk about USA-made knives and Hinderer and Chris Reeve and stuff, this to me is just in a whole nother ball game, and I'm just, I recently discovered too, I got more into the brand and was watching the video with Bill Koenig, and he talked about how his company started. It was just so heartfelt, kind of sad, but just so heartfelt about like his dad and everything, how he wanted to go about it. And I didn't realize that the dude was younger than me. Like, he's a young guy, and just what he's been able to accomplish is incredible, in my opinion. He's creating some amazing pieces here, some very great knives. Obviously, these things are extremely popular. Really, besides getting in on a drop, I mean, besides doing that, you can't really get them besides getting them on the secondary. And these knives, this is how I view these types of knives. These knives are kind of like the Rolex of the knife world. It doesn't lose its value. I could turn around and sell this thing for exactly how much I paid for it and get all of my money back, if not more. Most of the time, people are selling it and making a little bit of profit. So this, to me, is not a knife purchase, but because of the price point, this is a knife investment. This is my investment. So if for any reason I ever wanted to sell this, I'm probably not going to lose out on any money on it. So if you're thinking about taking that step and getting something even higher end, just know, at least with Koenig, you're getting your money's worth, and you'll get your money's worth back. If it's ultimately, if it's not for you, or if something happens and you need to sell, you're going to get all your money back. You're not really going to take a hit. Now, if you sold for under table price, I assume that it would sell very, very quickly if you did that. Listen to that, guys. I mean, this thing is loud when it opens. That thwack that it makes. I mean, it is just exceptional. Titanium, all titanium hardware, titanium handle, M390 blade steel. I love the hole. I love the blade shape. This thing to me looks like it has like an aggressive look, but yet it has like an elegant look at the same time. And it looks like something that you can carry dressed up or just going out and about like I would do, you know. This thing just looks like it fits multiple roles. I love the ergonomics. That little cutout right here, that relief in here, and then how it swells out here on your palm. It's just so damn comfortable to use. Now, Kyle's had the flipper delete, which made a huge choil. Kyle's got really big hands, and he has to have that. Like, it's almost a requirement for Kyle to have that. I don't need that. I wear large size gloves, but I have very slender fingers. I don't need the choke up on this. It's just not necessary, and I feel like I had the same amount of cutting edge. So, I mean, me personally, I don't need that. And I like that I have multiple deployment options, because I've noticed when I'm just at home and I'm sitting on the couch watching TV, I'm doing this and I'm middle finger flicking it. But when I actually pull it out of my pocket to use, I use the flipper tab. So I like having the multiple deployment options on this. And so when I actually just want to use it, hit the flipper tab, open it, make my cut, close it back up, and I'm good to go, right? When I'm just at home and I'm fidgeting around or whatever, then I use the middle finger flick. But just to note, I think this has got a little bit of lock bar sensitivity, and it maybe just need to be broken in, because now I'm really having no issues getting it open. But when I first got it, I could not get this thing. But once I did and I started messing with it, I must have middle finger flicked it 100 times yesterday. And maybe it just needed a break-in period, or maybe I just needed to figure out my hand placement to get it right, because now I'm naturally resting my finger above the pivot right here and not on the lock bar, and I'm finding myself to naturally land there, and it opens up no problem. And I've heard people have that kind of same issue. Guys, I think this thing is just absolutely gorgeous. Honestly, I think this is going to be a keeper. This right now, without a doubt, not just because it was a $700 knife. I'm not basing it upon that. I'm basing it upon materials, ergonomics, cutting performance, aesthetics. It fits me and what I like. Right now, this is my favorite knife purchase of 2021. This is, and also, you know, it's not that easy to get, which I think excels that excitement. Would I be that excited if I could just go on their site and buy one? I don't know. I can't honestly say that. There is something more special about having something that you can't just go on the website and get. You kind of have to hunt it down. The hunt is part of the fun in collecting. But I'm more of an enthusiast than a collector. But I will tell you, this is probably going to be my daily driver. This is going to be my new favorite toy that I have in my collection. Besides the Field Duty EDC, I think that's coming in a close second, because I absolutely love that knife as well. But this thing is just so damn fun. Everything about it, the action, how it drops like that is just beautiful. The materials, it's got M390. That is my preferred EDC steel. Look at all the minimal branding on here. It's pretty much a sterile knife, guys. The only branding that you see is right here where it says Koenig, right there. That's it. That is the only place. I don't even see an M390 steel. You know, I don't even see that on there unless I'm missing it. Oh, there it is when you close it. You you can't see it when it's open. There it is when you close it. See, I like how they did that. Every little detail. The other thing I love about this thing is there's no freaking jimping. I'm just not the biggest fan of jimping. No jimping whatsoever. Ergonomically, this thing is just sound. Let's see how it is. The reverse grip isn't the best because this is kind of pointy, but I would never really hold a knife like this to begin with. But in every other grip, if you're just using it as a knife, it's fantastic. And I love the contrast. I'm so glad I got the spec that I wanted. I love the contrast between the blue and the gray. This almost looks kind of like fancy, but simplistic at the same time. I don't like the overly fancy shit with like the, what is that? Zirku tie, you know, hardware and all the fancy colors and shit. I don't like that. That's just not my style. This with the gray and the blue accents, it gives it just enough contrast, just enough pop to where it's pretty, but it's not so pretty that I don't want to use it. Guys, this thing is just so sick right now. I'm having so much fun with it. And then the fact that I also got my son's birthday as the, you know, the birth card. That adds a little bit more of sentimental value to it to me. This is not a review. This is me gushing. This is like a first impressions. But I think this is going to stick around for a very long time, if not forever. The only thing that may like debunk this for me is when they actually start getting more of the mini Ariuses out, because you guys know that I do like smaller knives. I don't think I would sell this one and get a mini Arius. I think I'd just buy a mini Arius so that I have both. So that I have the bigger brother and then the smaller brother, and then just swap between the two. I think that would be the only thing that maybe I might prefer over it, but I've never handled a mini Arius, so I couldn't tell you. But for this this is a full-size knife. I would consider this a full-size knife. 8.5 inches overall length, I believe. But it just carries, so the pocket clip retention is great. I was worried that this was going to be hard to get in and out of the pocket with this pocket clip. That could be farthest from the truth. It is so easy to get this in and out of the pocket. American made in Idaho. I believe his facility is like 15 minutes away from Chris Reeve. I am just so stoked that I own one of these. I don't have grails, guys. I'm just not that type of person where I have like a grail. Obviously, I have knives that I want, and this was on my want list. And I almost bought a shear grow off. It was flipper only, and I was okay with that. I almost bought a shear grow off. And actually, the model that I was going to get, a viewer just sent me to check out. So I'm actually getting to experience that model. So that's pretty cool. But I ultimately held out because I knew this drop was coming. And I'm so glad that I did. I freaking love this thing, guys. And you guys just have to watch for the drops that they do. This is my second attempt to get one. The first time I did was a few weeks ago. And it was on PVK Vegas. And they were doing a drop. I actually had one in my cart. Went to go check out. And as soon as I went to go check out, somebody cart snagged me or whatever. They were gone. It wasn't no big deal. I don't get upset over things like that. But, you know, it's just the way it goes. And if you really want one, you can go on the Koenig buy, sell, and trade page on Facebook group. And they're there you see these popping up on there. But you might have to pay a little bit more in retail. I'm just glad that I held out and waited for a drop and was able to get in on one and actually get one. And I got the spec that I wanted. So I am just over the moon. So happy right now to be the proud owner of one of these. And this thing is probably going to live in my pocket for the foreseeable future. This thing is just freaking awesome, guys. Look at that centering. Just the fit and finish. Everything about it. I'm a huge fan, guys. And I'm so glad that I was able to experience one, because if I would not have experienced it, I could tell you right now, would not have bought one for myself. I wouldn't have. I'm that type of person, like I want to know what I'm getting into. So this was awesome. Anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this one. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. I hope you enjoyed seeing this and, hearing all of my excitement. I was fumbling with my words a little bit, but anyways, I got to go. So I hope you guys have a fantastic day. I will see you guys in the next one.